Leesburg Grace Church. We're greeting you from our couch this morning because for one more week we have to stay home for worship.
We just wanted to say thank you for all the care and love that you guys showed us, our whole family. We had people bring us food and groceries and treats and books and lots of things, texts and cards and things, just checking in on us and making sure we were okay, and we just felt so very loved. Thank you.
And I know that there have been other families in our church that have been taking 2 weeks of quarantine too because they either had a COVID case or they were exposed to someone, and I've also heard stories of people reaching out to them, praying for them, dropping things off. This is great. We want to be the kind of community that cares for one another. This is what the New Testament envisions. And this is why some people wish they went to church, because then someone would bring them a casserole when they're sick. That's part of the Christian life. And so we're going to keep moving forward with church life, although things will continue to be different, like this year's Kids Christmas skit.
Yeah, so after taking a couple weeks off, we're going to try to get back into it and work on the kids skit, which is a movie this year.
Just pause for a second. I'm going to show you a clip of what we have so far, just so you can get a taste of how. All right, go.
So I will be trying to contact parents and caregivers this coming week to set up a scheduled time for you to bring your kids, just your kids and your family, to our house where we will have things set up to film them separately. The filming will be done outdoors. And then Kenneth is going to magically put everything together and make it look amazing, right, Kenneth? So be looking out for a text or a phone call from me, trying to schedule a time to bring your kids over here.
We actually have Friday night and Saturday an opportunity for men at our church to gather together. We purchased the license to a Paul David Tripp video series about men of faith. You should have received a postcard if you were there last week, although I hear when the pastor's gone, a lot of people skip church. So actually most of our church is probably listening to this online, and you shouldn't skip just because I'm not there, right? Right. Men of faith, or a postcard. You got a postcard in the mail. Men encouraging you to come out Friday night. We'll watch and discuss 2 videos and do a little bit of activity in between, like charades, because you can socially distance while you play charades. And then Saturday morning, we'll finish that out with the last session. Men of faith are courageous, they're fearless, and they're tender. We hope you'll be part of that, men. It's helpful if you let me know if you're coming. That way we can print off the right amount of material for you. And now, last thing, next week, we're starting a new sermon series, Psalm 139. Because I had an extra week at home, I have now provided a devotional that will go home with you during that sermon series so that you can get the most out of Psalm 139. But that's not this week. This week, John Lillis is going to encourage us, challenge us, and as he's making his way up front, Liz and I are going to read a passage of Scripture to you from the book of James. And James talks a lot about trials and persevering, and here in chapter 5 he says, "Be patient, therefore, brothers and sisters, until the coming of the Lord. See how the farmer waits for the precious fruit of the earth, being patient about it, until it receives the early and late rains. You also be patient. Establish your hearts, for the coming of the Lord is at hand. Do not grumble against one another, brothers and sisters, so that you may not be judged. Behold, the judge is standing at the door."
As an example of suffering and patience, brothers and sisters, take the prophets who spoke in the name of the Lord. Behold, we consider those blessed who remain steadfast. You have heard of the steadfastness of Job, and you have seen the purpose of the Lord, how the Lord is compassionate and merciful.
Before John speaks, take 30 seconds. Think of one person from our congregation you know is suffering and you know needs God's strength to persevere. Pray for them by name, and then John will lead us in his message.